everyone, and welcome to my very first episode of my Forever World Series in Survival Java Edition. I will say that this series was requested by a few people, and I'm gonna be honest, I am quite a LARPer myself. This is my very first time completely building in survival. There's a phantom there, so I'm just gonna go back in the room. But this is my very first time trying to maintain a world through survival. So I am encountering a lot of difficulties in my world. For example, when you are expanding your world, you need a lot of materials, right? A lot of materials. And unfortunately for me, because I've never built farms, I used to have a negative opinion towards farms. I will say, I thought farms kind of ruined your experience of the game because they just made everything really free. And that, I've realized, was a very wrong thought process. So, I've never built farms before. My boyfriend is building those. So far we have a working iron farm, and now he's working on a creeper farm. But yeah, this is a shared realm between me and my boyfriend. But I'm currently vacationing across the globe right now in China, and I am currently recording at 7 a.m. his time, so this will be a totally just me video. But in the future, I do plan on making content with him if you guys are interested in multiplayer content. In addition, I will say that I have joined a few SMPs, so I will also be creating some content with those as well. This is my very, very first time trying content creation, and I am honestly pretty nervous about it. I want you guys to know that I deeply appreciate the few people who are watching this. Thank you, friends. And that all the comments I've received on my YouTube shorts so far have been so supportive and helpful. And I want to thank you guys. Like, I can't thank you guys enough. But thank you for being here and supporting a very new creator. You guys are the best. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And so for this episode, I was thinking that I might be finishing the interior of this storage room. I have also gotten requests on, oh yeah, show us how you build your interiors. And that, I will say, my friends, is I will not claim myself to be a skilled person, you see. I did make a interior tips reel recently that I also posted to YouTube. But for those who haven't watched it, I'll just give some context. You see this house right here, this interior. This is my very first ever time finishing an interior. Previously, man, I just didn't know how to build my interiors. I'm the kind of person who builds the framing of the house first. Like, for example, all the exterior walls. And I come inside, and it's just like a dark pit. And I'm like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what to put here. I don't know what to put here. I don't know what to put there. But I just started placing blocks recently, and somehow it managed to turn into this magical fest. I will say myself like that. I am proud of this interior. I love how, like, there's so much, like, feeling and depth to all the ceilings, and just, like, personality to every single room. So, and I had a few people comment on that reel/short that the tips I gave were incredibly helpful, which honestly I'm so glad it was helpful. But I will say that, like, yeah, I don't really have a clue on what I'm doing myself. So yeah, we're going to be finishing the interior of the crafting room, the storage room today. And I think it'll just take a bit of figuring out. For example, the vibe I wanted to go for is supposedly like a very steampunk coppery kind of build. For example, if you come out here, I'm not totally satisfied with how this looks so far. I think there's more to be done here, but I embedded copper everywhere because I wanted to kind of make it seem like a workstation vibe, if that makes sense. But this is supposed to be like a little hobbit hole, and you enter, and there's like copper golems working, except, you know, it's kind of like Santa's elves. You know, you got their workstations of like these honeycombs of chests that they rummage through. So that was my thought process behind that. I wanted it to seem very alive. So that's my goal. Forever World Series. Honestly, I think my number one goal is to make everything look not dead and just blocky. So yeah, that's the vibe I'm going for. Of course, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I will read every single one of them and consider the suggestions. But I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try and detail out the rest of the ceiling right here. And I'm gonna do that in a time lapse. Let's both see how this turns out. So we did end up mostly finishing the ceiling of the storage room. So as you can see, I tried to include as much depth as possible. I tried to make it look as similar as the ceilings and interiors to my house right above the storage room. And my idea is that these pipes right here, they're supposed to be copper, right? They're supposed to be oxidized. And to add a bit of contrast and color, like I really enjoy the burnt orange and like the bit of teal color palette. And it's supposed to connect to the back, and it's supposed to be powering something. For example, I have these like shroom lights right here. I think they're called shroom lights. I low-key forgot, but yeah, they're supposed to be powering this room in some sort of way. And they're also supposed to be like connected to the tubes out there and connected, like powering those like water elevators in some way as well. So that is my concept for now. And as you can see, guys, my inventory looks incredibly different. I've got a whole new iron set, and I've got new tools, downgraded tools. So my boyfriend did end up waking up, and we hopped online for a bit. We went to the Nether, and we got killed several times. Yeah, that's a bummer. So I did end up losing the almost like god axe I had. So I'm stuck again with my normal iron axes. But I did get a new. He was kind enough to make me a new pickaxe with everything, and we did a whole showcase of breaking ore with the fortune pickaxe, and I will include a clip of that he recorded from his end because I completely forgot to record on my end. I was thinking about adding a bit more variation in the ceiling as well. I feel like it still looks a bit like a monotone and kind of a drab right here. So I'm definitely going to use more of like the stripped acacia wood and then the terracotta and then the brick right here along these walls around here to add a bit more variation. And aside from that, I think overall this place I'm mostly happy with, but also the ground and walls over here need some texturing. And I think my next step right here is to figure out what to do with this room. I have a symmetrical room. Well, actually, not symmetrical because I clearly did not build it. I haven't built it yet, but it's supposed to be symmetrical, and it's supposed to be like a further workstation. For an example, I have so many ferni here that I'm going to be using, and I was trying to think of like, oh, this could be like a really cool steampunky, like a lot of pipes kind of place. So you can see here, I've been experimenting with that and I've been kind of failing. So of course, again, if you have any suggestions for what I can include in my content, for example, if I need to elaborate further on my thought processes or anything, feel free to let me know in the comments. And also always let me know what you guys want to see next in my world. I will be looking at comments, and if there's like something that you guys want to see in a survival world that you want to see me build or anything, include in here as like a little, I don't know, like a memoir or like a little monument, I'm more than happy to include that. But for now, I will say I hope this is a great first episode, an introduction to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. All right, editing key here. I did work a bit more on the interior of my storage room, namely I added a bit more depth, a bit more variation and texture along the ceiling, the walls, and the flooring, because I wanted it to look pretty enough so I could post it on Instagram. So if you haven't already, please do make sure to check out my Instagram at keysvisuals_. I do repost all my YouTube shorts from my Instagram. So If you've made it this far, thank you so much.